Hey, today I'm going to talk to you about my favorite thing, social media. I was talking on Drive Through HR yesterday with William Tincup and Brian Wimpin, and one of the things I discussed was Google Plus, because Google Plus has really, really changed the way we're going to have to look at marketing. Maybe. See, most places, most social networks, you can just kind of ignore. My general strategy, maybe it's a good one, maybe it's a bad one, is simply to sign up for the network and then see what happens. I'm connected to enough places. As people rush to these new sites, they send connections to me and my numbers grow. That's how I started on LinkedIn. That's how I started on Twitter. Over time, as you figure out different ways to use them, you've built up enough of a base that you get kind of a critical mass. And if it's useful, then you can find it useful to yourself. If not, you kind of forget that it's ever there and you just kind of accept different connections. But then again, I'm a recruiter for the most part. I would never do that in marketing because it absolutely clutters up your stream. But for the most part, this has been effective. No matter what type of site that you're looking at, you join, you see if it takes off, and you play around with it. Play around with it for a little bit. So that's what I did with Google Plus. Got a couple hundred people connected in my circles, and I kind of added them. I very rarely look at it. Occasionally I'll try to, but it's an entirely new piece of information that doesn't really particularly help me in the stuff that I do, which is content creation and retained search marketing. So when I found out that Google Plus search results are beginning to show up in regular Google search results, and I saw how the SEO industry in general has really kind of freaked out about it. They're being quiet, but it's a big deal. Whenever you take real estate away from an industry, you push up the prices on everything. You make it more difficult to compete. This is pretty much what Google Plus has done. If you say there's 10 spots on the page and maybe 8 for ads on the side for pay-per-click, you by taking 1 or 2 of those spots away and giving them to Google Plus content, you've changed the game some. You've created a lot of opportunity for people who are very good at Google Plus, but considering that even most people aren't good at the basic content in social media, you've upped the stakes. And I know why they're doing this is because any of us who've been involved in internet marketing, at least in the last 7 or 8 years since blogs came along, our success is built. It's built off of Google. I made a lot of money from people calling me up because they found me on Google, or I call them up, they look me up on Google, and I can say, "Hey, see, I am who I said I was." I've been able to brand myself personally very well because of Google. Wasn't the only way, but Google's always been the most traffic that I've ever received. The only time it ever came close is when I was still writing blogs on a regular basis. I have a number of them are out there. I tend to focus more on clients now. But as I was doing a lot more work on the blogs, I noticed that Facebook and sometimes was driving 40 to 50% of my actual traffic. And it was very targeted traffic because it was people who were reading a specific article versus just running into a keyword that they had searched. So Facebook social sharing, I can see why Google moved it over to Google Plus. I mean, it makes sense for them as their core business begins to slow over time. I mean, it's already no longer the exact same. If you search Google, it used to be the Google results were all you're looking for, but now you've got business, you've got YouTube, you've got pictures that are in place, and you've got search history. So depending on who you are or where you are in the country, by location or by the fact that you're signed in, you're going to see different things in your Google search results, which is very confusing for marketers. Ultimately, that changes and affects your traffic patterns, both on the people you want coming to you and on whether or not they're converting to do whatever you want them to convert at your website. So I look at Google Plus, and I just know I have to do more. If I want the traffic, if I want to understand how that as more and more traffic goes to social to compete with Facebook, I have to do a better job of getting in front of people who are on Google Plus and getting them to share my content, to drive people to me, to convert over and call me so I make money on my retained search or for my marketing consulting. What this means is that I got to charge more because content creation is expensive for clients, and it means that I can help fewer numbers of people because I have to charge more. So this is not a minor thing. This is a major thing, and most of the SEO people that I see or talk to are a little shell-shocked, and those who aren't are just kind of hopeful. They know that they still have a revenue stream, but they see what's coming, and a big deal. It's a big deal. So the question really becomes, okay, well, what do you do? Well, I'm not going to tell you all those answers because one, it's going to change. The answer is we got to start getting on Google Plus. The advantage if you're in industries that already aren't that mature is that you can dominate Google search results in a number of different ways, and your competitors won't know what hit them. They actually won't always see what you're seeing. It's a big deal for PR. It's a big deal for anybody who's doing blogger outreach. And I think there's an undercurrent. I think you'll see a lot of it in politics, to tell you the truth, which is the silly season's coming upon us. But you should be paying attention to Google+. I'm going to do some writing on it. The truth is that I don't want to give all the secrets away, and I have some very good ideas on how to monetize that. Doesn't necessarily make me happy. I was just in the fat part of the curve for my experience in digital marketing and interactive and social media. And Google Plus is something new. Not only do I have to learn something new, but you're not as aware of what you're charging, how much of an impact that you can have. So the rewards, how much you can promise you can do, we don't know what that is yet. So there's a lot of sampling and testing that has to go along. But if you're not on Google Plus, you need to be. I hate to break it to you. You haven't had to do any of that. It's going to be easier to skip Facebook than it is Google Plus because Facebook exists whether or not you're in it. Google Plus, though, well, it's time to start paying attention. So I'll do some writing, take a look around, you read what other people are saying, and then begin to judge the results. And when you see that first Google Plus search result, the next time that you're out searching for a keyword, you'll know that I'm right.